the sex education that I received growing up and that Sarah received in school basically just covered the mechanics. Here are the boy parts, here are the girl parts, this is what happens in puberty, this is how pregnancy occurs, and it pretty much just ended there. Human sexuality is a lot broader than just those basic mechanics. And OWL really covers the whole scope of human sexuality in a very open, non-judgmental environment.
Something that's very different about OWL than the sex education that I received in school is in school they tell you don't have sex. It's bad. But what OWL does is they give you different ways in which you can protect yourself if you're going to make decisions for yourself, which you can do because you're a human being and it's your right to make your own decisions. And they teach you the consequences of certain decisions, and they teach you how you can get help with your decisions.
The night that really sticks out for me was a class where the kids were asked to make a list of their goals for the next 5 years and for the next 10 years. So a list of things they wanted to accomplish, a 5-year plan and a 10-year plan. And then the kids shared it as a group. And most of the kids for their 5-year plan had really similar things. Graduate from high school, get into a good college, get a job, be in a healthy relationship, fall in love, some things like that were on there. And the facilitator pointed out, becoming a parent is not on your 5-year plan for any of you. So how are you going to ensure that that doesn't happen? And certainly contracting a sexually transmitted infection isn't on your plan for your 5-year, your 10-year. Really, I don't think anybody wants that. And the kids were all agreeing, yeah, we don't want that. Okay, so here are the tools for you so that you can prevent those things from happening. You almost see this shift in the kids of like, oh, okay, we do have the power. And we now have these tools so that we can prevent pregnancy, keep our bodies healthy and safe, and we're armed now with this so we can make these decisions for ourselves.
At the time that I took OWL, I was an officer of my school's GSA. I was the president. I still am the president. And this is also during the special session where the topic of gay marriage was being discussed and trying to get legalized, which it was legalized here in Hawaii. Yay. And the thing about OWL is that it talks about all different kinds of sexualities. I kind of became the person that people would go to not only for advice but for more information because they were curious. I think what was interesting with the OWL program is that on one of the nights we had to write down what we look for in a partner, and when we compared ours on the car ride home, we had very similar.
We had the exact top 3,
yeah.
Same. So I'm like, I guess we look for the same things in relationships. I have actually suggested it to a number of friends who've said, my daughter's only 7. We're not going to take a sex ed class. And I'm like, well, it starts from birth when you're just naming body parts. You know, we're born with we're wired, we're sexual beings.
And one of the most fun parts of the class was when we had to think of questions that we want to ask the other gender. And in my class it just so happened to be that we had no boys. So what we had to do was ask our guy friends at school the questions. And when I was talking to my guy friends about it, they were like, what kind of a class is this? And I was like, this is OWL, you have to take it. And they're like, you know, I might actually consider taking it. Because it was questions like, how often do you masturbate? Like, really fun stuff like that. OWL is almost necessary for a teenager, just so that they know what's happening right now to them and to their relationships. Yes, I did tell them that it took place at a church, and it was my church, and a lot of their first response was, you go to church? And then their second response was, they teach this kind of sex education at a church? And I was just like, yes, it is a church. It's the First Unitarian Church of Honolulu. And I would tell them about our 7 principles and how it's a church based on the principles instead of a deity or a savior or something like that, and that it's an amazing religion, and a lot of them actually look into the religion and have actually brought two friends to the church because they are interested in it.
Yeah, actually, one of the mothers who did OWL with us has started attending our church.